this an important place for you?
Business.
It's business.
Good business.
Yeah.
Anybody that loves film gets my priority. What's that, your cat?
It's a dead budget.
Okay.
What did you think of the? You had seen the film before last night.
No, I did not.
So what did you think of it?
I'm very proud of it.
You are.
Yeah.
Did anything surprise you about it?
No.
How it turned out? No. Well, I'm curious. It's now been a while since you were in a film, and it's lovely to have you back. I'm curious why it's been a while.
You didn't have no material. You see the movies they're putting out? What am I going to do? Discuss that?
Had you been looking for the right material?
No. I'm very happy to relax and stay home with my family, and if something comes up, I'll consider it. That's the nice part about 87. You just tell people, oh, you're very tired. Oh, okay.
So how did Max Rose come to you then?
It was sent to me. Larry Ingley, our producer, sent it and asked me to please read it. I read it and called him that morning and said, let's do it. It's the best script I've ever read.
And what struck you about it? I mean, it's remarkable that a young filmmaker is making a film like this, I think.
And a first-time director.
Right.
And he was marvelous. But I keep teasing him, telling him he was great because he had a pretty good director on the other side of the camera.
Did you give him any advice? Certainly.
Never talked about directorial anything. I never stood behind the camera, never looked in it. And when I'm directing a film, that's the only place you can find me is on the camera. Big difference.
Was it nice to be back in the saddle, so to speak, to be in front of a camera again?
I do 8 concerts a month. Each one is 2.5 hours of myself on a stage for an audience of 3,800, 4,800. I'm doing it all the time. When I said I'll do Max Rose, I had to cancel over 15 concerts. And it's a wonderful way to make a fortune.
Had you missed film work at all?
Huh?
Had you missed film work at all?
No.
No.
As I don't miss the concerts when I'm doing a film. Wherever the audience is where you want to go. And if you're a ham like me, you go wherever the action is. You see a lens and a crew and you say, yeah!
Well, I mean, that's certainly, you certainly found it with Max Rose, and but this is a very different kind of performance.
Did you like Max Rose?
I did. I did. I thought it was a kind of story you don't often see in movies. It was unfamiliar, and that's a very good thing.
That's good writing. Daniel wrote a great script. I had never read a script in my life that I went to the phone, with maybe the exception of King of Comedy. But I was so excited for this first-time director that I gave it all I had, and he gave it all he had. And the industry's going to pay attention to Daniel Noah, I promise. And I'm very proud of him.
I think
he's a wonderful man, but he's a wonderful kid. And when you're 87, almost everybody's a kid.
I think it's very interesting.
How old are you?
22.
I mean, God bless him. It's wonderful. And I remember when I answered 22, a lot has happened in 60 years. And I'm very grateful for it. and I'm most appreciative. And I've worked hard to sustain a reputation of, if you're going to buy a ticket, you know you're going to get entertained. You know, that was what I was taught. Walk on stage and have an audience stand up and applaud, and you haven't done anything. It's very humbling. But it happens all the time. I'm introduced and I got to wait 4 minutes till they stop standing and applauding and whistling and clapping. Yeah. If it didn't happen, I'd be bitching about that. I did a concert the other night in New York. I couldn't get started. They said that the time of it was 8 minutes of applauding and yelling and screaming, and I'm standing there not knowing what the Christ to do with myself. But it's very gratifying, very gratifying. You're getting paid off for work you did God knows how long ago, and 95% of the audience grew up with me. I'm looking at faces that when they first started to watch what I did, they were like this, they were babies. And now they go through their life, and I go through the life with them, practically. Because that's their choice. They like that man because he gave them pleasure, you know. So I'm very tuned to the audience's needs and likes and dislikes. I work harder on that stuff sometimes than anything else. And then there were times when you don't feel like it, when you feel tired, and you've been driving, and the body says, hey, hold it. Just sit down for 5 minutes and then jump up and do it again, but stop for a while and think about your own ticker going. And you have to be careful. You get carried away. I can't move as quickly as I did when I was 22. I mean, when I was 22, you couldn't catch up to me. I was over there somewhere and then over there. But at 87, you got to change that a little bit and walk over there. It's like the bull joke. Remember the bull joke?
I'm not sure.
The father and the son bull are looking down at all of the female bulls, and the son says, I'm going to run down there and fuck one of those bulls. And the father said, why don't you walk down and fuck them all? But that's an age joke. And it tells you a lot. A joke like that is created for a reason. But if what you do is energetic and alive and meaningful, your audience is going to tell you. When I sit with an interviewer, I can see here, it's okay, and you can be comfortable because he's okay. You have to read everybody, you know, for your own self, so that you can give him what he expects from you. So you get torn, and it gets complicated going from the man to the comic, from the adult to the child, and you make these changes, and they're all very abrupt. If you please people with what you do, do it. There's a lot of people that don't know that they can do that. And it's simple to be kind to someone you've just met. It's simple to contribute to that individual or what they want from you. And it's all about love. That's what we all did when we got up this morning. Think about, who are we going to seduce today? And who is coming to us to seduce us? And if you recognize that that's okay, then you work at it. And you make it better and stronger, and then you get more energy. It's really an interesting kind of catch-22.
I imagine on Max Rose that that shift was less, that you were an adult, that you were yourself more, you weren't maybe performing as you're accustomed to. Is that right?
Yeah, it was a very disciplined, and you have to come to it knowing you're going to be doing something different. You got to bring all of your information, everything you know about the crew, everything you know about the process, and each time you have another gig, more or less, you have to adjust to that. There's 10 things that I do in my concert that get laughs, that's funny and meaningful. But as I'm working, I'm editing the couple of bits coming up, and I'm dropping another one in spontaneously, so that every show I do is different. I wish the hell I could remember from one to the other. But I'm happiest when I'm on the stage. And this is my 82nd year of professionally performing. I started at 5. My mother made me a tuxedo at 5. How the fuck can you miss? Jesus Christ. I walked out and I'm told I was a smash. I finished the show. I finished singing my song. And I took a bow and my foot hit the floodlights. Now, the floodlights in 1931 were large photo floods. And my foot broke one and it exploded. And the smoke and the noise just scared the shit out of me. That audience laughed so hard. And I heard the first laugh I ever got from an audience, and I said to myself, which is what I'm assuming, hey, I like this. I think I'll do that.
Well, you certainly had everybody laughing yesterday. It was easily the most entertaining and amusing press conference of this festival. But you also, what you've said about female comedians has not made everybody so happy.
It's the truth. I can't help it. I see a woman, I think of the birth of a child. She's going to come out and grab her crotch and do this shit. Women, no. It's just wrong. I don't care that the audience likes it and laughs at it. I don't happen to like it. And I have too much respect for the gender. And I think that they are wrong in doing it. I can't expect them to stop working, but just don't work anywhere where I have to look at it.
Yeah, well, I mean, but even aside from broad comedy, I mean, wouldn't you think that a woman could be funny?
No.
No.
Sure she can.
Yeah.
I don't see it as funny. It disturbs me, and it troubles me. That means I can't enjoy it, so I won't go. But with Carol Burnett, you can sit right there and watch her for 7 days. She's constantly a genius. And you can learn from her. But she told everyone she learned most of what she did from me. So it's a nice compliment.
Well, I think a lot of people learned a lot from you, but thank you for talking to me.
My pleasure. Thank
Pleasure
you.
to chat.
It's so nice to hear an American.